name's Chris McCarthy, and most people are aware that my hunting outfit, Lake Hawea Hunting Safaris New Zealand, has been offering the ultimate New Zealand free-range hunting experience for a number of years. We offer hunts for red stag, tahr, fallow and chamois, and we specialise in free-range red stags. That's our major point of difference, and that's the thing that sets us apart from most other hunt outfitters in New Zealand. Very, very unique to have, to be able to offer a high quality free-range red stag hunt. So yes, we do a little bit of state stag hunting as well, but the free-range stags are our thing. So let me talk you through some of our trophies from our 2023 season. We just have the three classes of trophy free range. We have first class stag, which is most of these ones through the middle here. We have the second class stags down the end. You can see a couple of high fence stags way down the end there. And then we have the category between first class and second class called NQF, which stands for not quite first. Anyway, let me talk you through a few of these trophies here. We'll start with the Andreasen trophy, a lovely 14-point free range stag. He's a little bit compact in the frame, so when we're looking at these stags, we'll move over to let's look at this guy here. We'll come back up here. We're looking at three things. We're looking at the frame, which is the length of the antler, the outside spread, the inside span, and to a lesser extent the diameter, the circumference of the coronet or burr, and the circumference of the beam. So those five things make up the frame. And then we have the lower tines, which are the brows, bays and trays, and the top tines, which are the royal points, the outer royal, inner royal and the back tine. And often with our stags we have additional crown points off the back tine, whether they're off back tines like this one here or in the back tines as well. We'll come back up here and we'll run through these trophies. Again, the Andreasen trophy, lovely compact 14-point head. Out of all these trophies here, this is the only stag in the first class category that doesn't surpass 40 inches in beam length. Lovely inner off back tines, which is a trait of the Otago herd. So these are Otago red stags that we're hunting. That's the subspecies, if you like, of red stag within our area. Yeah, just a really, really smart head. Only about 4 points in difference, I think, between gross score and Douglas score, which is our free range score in New Zealand for wild heads. So only four, I think it was only four points in deduction there. So really even, beautiful, typical head. That does score over 300. I think about 303. Move on to the Venata trophy. Again, beautiful tops, beautiful inner off back tines, which is a trait of the herd. Good lower register, and 14 points, lovely looking stag, again scoring in the early 300s. So the 300 Douglas score is a benchmark that we're looking for. We're looking for two benchmarks, that number there and a 40-inch beam length, and I think this guy here on his longest is just over 41. Moving on to the Sop trophy. He really is a strong 12 with some additional points. He's actually, what is he, 15 altogether. Beautiful royals, great shape in the royal tines, nice even lower register, strong royals, good back tines with some additional points off the back tines, and a little basil snag off the brow here. Really attractive head, this stag, one of my favourites of the season. Yeah, classy is how I would describe that one. Sometimes with these animals, because we see them year in, year out, and we're fortunate enough to watch some of them grow out over a number of years and develop, they do end up getting a name. It's just one way we can identify them from season to season. This guy was known as double kicker. These little kicker points here off his outer royals. He's basically a whopping big strong 12 with the 2 additional kickers and again a little snag down here. So he's 15 in total. He's 41 long, he's over 40 wide. He's just a big thumping wild head. Cracking stag. Moving on to this stag here. Highest scoring stag of the 2023 season. And I think, like I've said before, the more stags I score, the more I actually come back to those traditional measurements of length, span and beam. Really those three factors there will describe most heads. But yes, they are scored. This guy here scores 335, our highest scoring stag of 2023. And really he's flawless. He's so even through his lowers. He's 40 and a half long by 40, I think 40 and a half wide as well. So there's not too many stags that go 40 by 40 square. Often they'll go 40 long and they're sort of 37, 38 wide, but this guy punches it out in both dimensions. Really, really lovely stag. Like I said, flawless. He's pretty hard to fault. Beautiful 14 pointer. To me, really, there is a big 12 or a big royal 12 pointer, whatever you want to call it, is as good as a 15, 16 pointer in my book. This guy here is, I think, the longest stag of the season at just over 43 long. Touching, he might be even a little bit more than that, close to 44. Just a giant, really. Yeah, just a giant big 12. Scoring wise, he got hurt a little bit because this back tine here doesn't actually come out of the back of the royal, so the tops don't totally correspond. Still scores over 320. Had he been corresponding, it would have been more like 350. So yeah, just a big brute of a head. Moving along here to the stag, actually another 17 point stag. Reasonable through the lowers, good frame, and I guess non-typical tops really. He's got quite a lot going on this right hand top. Lots of additional little extra points up in here. A bit cleaner on his right hand top. Yeah, again 17 points in total. Quite cool colour on his antlers. He's obviously rubbed out on something a little bit lighter. And another stag surpassing 300 score and 40 inches in beam length. Onto the brand trophy. Actually another 17 point stag. Good lowers, really heavy beams. Thick through there, over 6-inch beams. Reasonably typical on this left hand top here, a bit non-typical over here on the right. Yeah, still a great looking stag, great purling too actually. And as I said, heavy beams. And onto the King trophy. One of the stronger lower registers of the season with whopping big brows, bays and trays. I knew the tops on him weren't super strong, but looking at him, I thought he would still go over 300, and he does, and he is still over 40 long on the longest antler. So yeah, there you go. That's most of our first class stags from the 2023 season. Some exceptional wild Otago red stags. What will we do now? We'll come over here and point out some of these second class stags here. This is the Kemp trophy. I think Ian's done 9 hunts with me over the years, since 2009 I think, with his first hunt with me. Lots of tar and chamois hunts, wilderness hunts and stag hunts. Again, this guy's deemed second class basically because he's a bit tighter in the frame and he's missing a bay tine down here. Not quite 40 long, he's 38, but a decent second class stag. this 12 pointer or royal here is probably the most unlucky second class stag of the season. That was my call. Just about touches 300 and score the stag, but he doesn't really have the traditional outer royal, inner royal with the back tine coming out of the back of the royal. So again, being pretty hard on him. He is a 12-point stag and he is very symmetrical, but that was the reason I deemed him second class. So that's that stag there. This guy here, he's sort of pretty self-explanatory. Again, quite nice through the lowers, a lot of shape in the main beam. He is 40 long, but his royal's smaller, and that's the reason he's in the second class category. And just to show you here, as I said earlier, we do a few estate stag hunts as well. These are scored on the SCI score. What we don't do is blur the lines. With us, they're either an estate stag or they're free range. But yes, we can do estate stag hunts, and this guy here scores 390 SCI, and that guy there 360. So it gives you an idea. There's definitely a big jump in how the trophies look, but obviously these animals are enclosed, these animals are wild. We'll walk back up the other end here and I'll talk you through our latest category of free range stag, which we've called the NQF, which stands for not quite first. I really couldn't think of a better thing to call it. And just a couple of things that I really want to point out. So this stag here, he falls into this category basically because he's narrow. I'm not a fan of narrow stags. He's a bit lighter in the bays, but obviously he's got huge tops. We call him big tops, but he's just tight. So really that's the only reason he falls into that basket. Again, this guy here, we've put him in this NQF category. He was actually shot as a first class stag. That was my call and I got that one wrong. He fooled me, this guy, with his body size. He's 36, I think 36 and a half long. Great tops, but he's just not there in the frame. So yeah, that's why he's in this basket here. Still a classy stag with awesome tops. What I really wanted to point out, or what really makes most stags come into this category, is what we call the royal points that step up. So as you can see, he's got the traditional outer and inner on this side with the back tine. On this side, his royal point splits up and then bifurcates or splits. So really it's hardly detrimental to the eye, but it is really detrimental to the score. So again, certainly not that we're all about that, but that's why he falls into that bracket, and that takes him from sort of a 210 class stag right down into the early 290s or high 280s. So that's really the only small, you can't even call it a deformity really, but the only difference. And the same with this guy here. He's a 14-point stag, he's 40 long, this guy's 41. Again, just on this side, those royal points don't quite correspond, but yeah, still a lovely stag. This guy here, pretty self-explanatory, missing the bay tines, which is not a trait of our herd, but those animals are out there. But he just had these beautiful tops, and for me he was just a bit too good to call a second class stag, so we've classed him as NQF. And this guy here, really long in the beam, 42 long, massive long beams. Lowers are okay, a bit weaker here, and the tops are quite weak. So again, that's why we've put him into that basket. So yeah, that's most of our free range stags of the 2023 season. I've had some awesome help this year from the guide team of Russell, Ethan, Ben and Askar. It's difficult to explain the amount of work and dedication that's really gone in by everyone to achieve these trophies for our clients. They are wild, they will run away, and they will make you look stupid if you don't do things right. So yeah, it doesn't always work out, but we seem to we seem to get it done. And I think out of everyone we had through this season, 26 stags on the ground, there was only the one hunter who didn't get a stag, and he certainly had opportunities. So yeah, that's us, Lake Hawea Safaris, free range Otago red stags. If you want to hunt one, contact us and we'll make it happen. 2025 is pretty much booked out. We're generally booked out 2 years in advance. We've got availability in late 2025 and 2026 at the moment.